And I'm going to start our conversation by pointing out that you have studied, among others, with Boris Belkin. And we are talking about one of the most fascinating, I would say, possessed violin players that we have seen in the last decades. Why not? How do you remember your collaboration with him?
Oh, I learned a lot from him. I mean, he's a fantastic musician, fantastic violinist. It was for me quite a special moment that I went to have lessons with him, because before that I was studying with Philip Hirschhorn in my hometown in Utrecht in Holland. And he passed away at a very young age. And actually after that I met Boris Belkin, and it was very special. And of course he knew Philip Hirschhorn as well, so it was a good kind of way to continue my learning process in that sense. But it was difficult, of course, because Philip Hirschhorn meant a lot to me.
Yes.
So it had to be the right person for me to meet, and he was wonderful. I especially learned so much in sound production. I mean, he has a fantastic right hand. I mean, it's amazing. I can watch that forever. Yeah.
As a teacher, was he equally passionate as he was while playing?
Oh, he's a very passionate teacher, and I went a couple of summers to Siena, the Accademia Chigiana, exactly. And I went on to study with him. He's a guest professor in Maastricht, in the south of Holland, and so I went regularly, well, once a month to him for lessons, and hours and hours. I mean, his lessons would be long and intense and very specific in repertoire, and that was great because I mean he has all the experience of playing all those violin concerti on stage, and so it was it was a very good learning experience.
Well, I have used two terms to characterize him. I said passionate and possessed. Now, if we were to choose just one adjective to characterize yourself, what would that be?
Don't make me answer that myself. That's
what would you
impossible.
like others to say?
Yeah, no, that's
just one word, yes. Let's switch the question a bit.
But, I mean, I think passionate and devoted, maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's difficult. I love music. I'm devoted to music. I'm passionate about music. Communicative, maybe that's even the best word, because I feel making music, whether one plays in chamber music or with a big orchestra, I mean, one is part of a bigger ensemble, bigger group, bigger organism, and I think that communication is the most important thing there. So maybe that could be the word, communicative. Great.
Since you have mentioned chamber music and big concerts, you do both. And I was wondering, do you do both with the same intensity, with the same involvement, with the same passion as you are saying?
Yes, I mean for me it's the same thing. It's making music. It's I mean the communication and this element, this, I mean, whatever you want to call it, chamber music element, I mean this direct communication, this is the essence, I think, of making music. So it does, I cannot make music in any other way than to completely
be there.
Yeah.
You come to Bucharest for the first time.
Yes.
And we're very happy
Me too.
To have you here with the Bartók Concerto No. 1. Now, how do you relate to this particular piece?
I love that concerto. It is a fantastic piece. It is not as often played as the second Bartók violin concerto. I think it deserves to be played much more than it is programmed. I mean, it's a special history, of course, that the piece has. I mean, he wrote it for this violinist Steffi Geyer, who he was madly in love with, and she did not answer his love, reciprocate his love, and she didn't play the piece. I think she just hid it in a cupboard somewhere. But the first movement is just it basically is a love letter. I mean, it's the leitmotif of Steffi that I start with completely solo phrase of the violin. So I present her theme, and it's a very intimate, very passionate piece. And then the second movement is very capricious, a lot of different characters, very diverse. I mean, great Bartók. I mean, it has so much character. So it's a great piece to play. It's extremely expressive, and yeah, it's really a joy to play it.
And to be on stage with Andris Nelsons and the Royal Concertgebouw Orchestra.
Well, I mean, of course, the Royal Concertgebouw Orchestra. Yes. Well, I mean, they are an orchestra that I grew up with, being Dutch. I mean, I listened to so many of their concerts, and then at some point I got to play with them. And now I regularly perform with them. They're wonderful. I have many friends in the orchestra, so the collaboration feels very supportive actually also, and just very, very nice and direct. And Andris Nelsons, it's the second time I'm working with him. I did the Brahms concerto with him before in Munich with Bayerischer Rundfunk, and now the Bartók. And he is, of course, he's wonderful, and he is so enthusiastic. There's no ego there. It's just completely in devotion to the music, and it's great. It feels very natural to make music with him.
you go from the Baroque and Vivaldi and the Four Seasons and everything up to the contemporary music, where does your heart really go?
I mean, stylistically, I cannot say, because I love playing Baroque music. I love playing romantic repertoire, contemporary. So, yeah, my heart goes to all these different styles. But of course, maybe my heart doesn't go to each composer.
Yes.
But I mean, it's impossible for me to to name like one composer. I mean.
Oh, you can name a few.
Really?
Yes.
I mean, I have to mention Bach, of course, because Bach is a composer that I grew up with. He was very much part of my upbringing at home. My parents are both musicians. My father is an organist, and he played a lot of Bach's works. And so I listened to a lot of organ music, but also choir music. And yeah, so that's definitely is part of my life, but I mean Schubert, Mahler, Brahms. It's impossible to say. I mean, there's really many that I love, and what I also love is to play all those different composers and all those different stylistic approaches, and really it keeps also. One as a musician keeps one flexible and fresh.
Exactly,
yeah, it's so I don't really want to choose.
Maybe a bit peculiar question now. Most of us, when in need, we listen to music. But you, the privileged people who get to produce music, to play music, do this. So my question is, when you are alone at home, do you ever feel the need to play something just for yourself?
You mean to play
yes.
or to listen?
No, to play.
To play.
No, we listen, you play.
No, I also listen.
Yeah, I know.
I also enjoy to listen.
Just to soothe the soul.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel maybe, as you say, privileged to be able to do that in life and to play concerts and to share it. But at the same time, of course, I'm sharing the music, but I'm also.
You also
receiving it. Yeah, that's true. So, but actually listening to music for myself, and I'm alone at home, and no matter how I feel, maybe I feel sad, maybe I feel happy, but I enjoy also listening, and that doesn't necessarily even have to be just classical music.
Yes, of course.
I'm in a period of Nina Simone at the moment.
Nice.
I really think it's amazing to listen. Also to I mean singing in general, but I mean voice and the expression and directness of the voice is something to learn from so much. Yeah.
But just to grab your violin, your Stradivari violin, and play something for you alone, no audience, no feedback.
But I do that every day when I practice. But of course, practice is a different thing. No, I understand what you're asking. I don't know. It happens maybe during a process of practicing that it's it's not only working. And sometimes it can be frustrating to practice, but then there's also moments that suddenly, you're alone with the instrument, you're alone with the music, you're alone with your emotion, and I don't know, it's amazing energy, of course. So
and a never-ending process, I think.
Oh, yes, but that's good also.
Yes,
sometimes one can get so frustrated because one is looking for the one has an ideal in mind, and one is striving for that goal or that perfection, but one will never reach it, and I think that's also good. And one is frustrated, but it's a struggle. So, but without that struggle, one wouldn't, it needs that. It needs, I don't know.
But who defines perfection?
But that is impossible, of course.
Exactly my point.
What is perfection?
Exactly.
I mean, I have an idea what I want myself, but it's impossible to. It's also good that it's not possible to put that into a form or into words or.
Since we have talked about you being alone, let's move you to the stage. And I was wondering, while playing, do you actually feel the audience breathing towards you and following your notes, your movements?
The energy is so spürbar. Like you notice it. I mean, and it makes an important part of the concert and of the performance. One feels if an audience is focused.
Yes.
If the energy is there and the focus is there, and if it's not there, then I mean, it needs. It's all important. It's not only the musicians on stage. Mm-hmm. It's really the whole energy in the whole that creates a beautiful moment. Yeah.
Are you a fast learner?
Depends. I can learn things fast if I need to learn them fast.
Did it ever happen to you on stage to forget?
Of course, sometimes it can happen that you have a small memory slip, but it's maybe a few notes. Mm-hmm. It's not like it's suddenly a major blackout that you're lost and cannot get back. But I think it's human probably that something like that happens, and I think it's the fear of every musician on stage that it will happen, and maybe so it's also that is of course on my mind that something like that can happen. But
well, we're not talking about that a few hours prior to your concert. But do you remember when you were most anxious on stage? Maybe a certain episode, a certain moment when you really felt this huge pressure.
Yeah, of course, those
maybe
moments.
Maybe a debut or maybe a...
It can be a debut, it can be a premiere of a piece. But it can even, sometimes it can be a piece that you've played
dozens and dozens of
times, and it's in a concert hall where you've been before, and something that maybe you think wouldn't give you the stress that a premiere would or a debut would, and then still you can completely feel nervous. So I think it's impossible to say which ingredients are there for it to happen, and one knows that it will not every concert feel completely easy, and it should also not feel easy. It's difficult to say when that happens. It's usually something in the mind or in the circumstances that when the focus is not really completely naturally there.
Yes. But do you have like a special routine or a special discipline of erasing everything else and just going with the music, going with the no recipe?
No. What works for me, what I do before a concert is just I need to play. I need to have the instrument with me and just play things slowly or not slowly, but just play until the last moment that I go on stage. It's not that I necessarily need to be alone also. It's okay if there's not anybody there, but I mean people that I feel relaxed with, it's okay. But no, somehow just to have the focus and the contact with the violin and with the music, that works for me. And even then, if I feel some nerves, it's okay because I have the instrument. Yeah.
That's a really nice relationship, you and your instrument. One gives support to the other.
That is quite a nice thing. Yes, I'm lucky.
Tell me more about your Stradivari.
Well, it's a wonderful instrument. Stradivari is from 1727.
Yes.
The Baron de Broek.
You had one from 1725.
No,
in the beginning?
Actually 27 as well.
Yes.
It's the same year, but the one that I had before, I had for almost 15 years, and it was composed actually from the front part was from 21 and the back from 27. Wonderful instrument, and then about 1 year ago, I changed to this instrument. It's the same year. It was it came on my way, and I had the chance to kind of play it for a short while, and I thought it was very interesting because it was the same year, and to compare them and just to... I wasn't looking for another instrument, but I kind of fell in love with it and with the different character, it gave me different inspiration, new inspiration, and so that's my partner now.
Yes. So you got along from the early beginning?
Yeah, I did.
Great.
Yeah.
In a concert, we have people coughing, we have cell phones, we have spontaneous applause after a certain movement of a concert, which is not so okay, let's say. Do you bother
Sometimes no, because I think it depends a little bit. Usually, I mean, it can be kind of just out of enthusiasm that people applaud. And that's fine.
Yes.
Maybe I wouldn't at that moment do it myself, but it's fine if it comes out like that. If it happens after like a very beautiful slow movement and it's quiet and actually you don't even want to hear, you know, you don't want to breathe because you want to stay in that atmosphere, and then it comes kind of as
a... And the conductor is still with his, baton up, yes.
Then I feel, okay, I haven't done something right, I haven't, because one shouldn't want to make a sound. And then it feels more like, okay, no, it's finished now, let's applaud, instead of, you know, just staying in that moment. And then, yeah, maybe I take it to myself then, that I think I didn't reach. That
makes you doubt yourself.
Well, yeah, doubt, or just think, yeah, maybe doubt is, but like, yeah, I didn't reach the people how I wanted to reach them. And that's of course also not fair, because it's not the whole audience usually that starts, but it's like a few people, and then, But in general, I'm also not for, you know, the rules. It has to be like this, and you're not allowed to do this or that, or, you know, it's okay. Yeah.
Well, a cell phone you're not allowed to use.
That I think is not so nice.
Yeah. When you are free, and I suppose that happens quite seldom.
Yeah, I try, I have actually in the past years tried to make my schedule sometimes just that I have a little bit more time to even reflect on what I've done or on life, or have time to practice. So a little bit more free.
Okay.
But what is free? You know, yeah.
So when you are free, are you a good concert attender?
I love going to concerts, but it's true when one has those few days at home, sometimes it's just that maybe the energy is not there, or the space in the head is not there. And other times it is there. But I think that in general, when I play with orchestra, I always like to go, maybe not every evening when it's repeated concerts, but just to hear the symphony and to go, you know, so I go to concerts quite a lot in that sense. But I would love to go much more often, but it's really a matter of finding, just a space in one's, self.
But when you go to a violin concert, how does that feel?
Oh, it can feel wonderful. I mean, I have some very good friends, colleagues, violinists that, I mean, it's a joy, it's a pleasure to actually have the chance to go to their concerts. And sometimes it happens like that. You're on tour and, you know, the night before just there happens to be a colleague there. I mean, it's a small world. At the festival, I mean, if you see the program, it's like everybody is here.
Yes.
It's so nice, and you get greetings from all sides, and I was just there, and do this and that, and you know, it's nice. It's in a way, it's a big family. So it's the chances that one meets, I cherish them. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and have a blessed night.
Thank you.